Recent governments drawn from Fianna Fáil and the Green Party, Fine Gael and the Labour Party, and now Fine Gael and the Independent Alliance are often described rightly as neoliberal. And while this is correct, it can sometimes be confused by the general public as meaning tolerant of different views. The truth, of course, is that neoliberalism is a deliberate policy of supporting the rich and powerful in society while impoverishing low and middle-income families. Neoliberalism means cruel capitalist extremism. And these recent governments, in which the proposed Taoiseach, Deputy Varadkar, and his ministers participated in, were and are proponents of cruel capitalist extremism, grossly favouring the rich and powerful in society over the poor and struggling. And Deputy Varadkar, in addition, together with Taoiseach Kenny, Minister Noonan and Minister Burton, has promoted the greatest confiscation of Irish assets by foreign landlords, foreign investors and foreign governments since Oliver Cromwell laid this country waste. And as a result, in addition to the €6 billion in state revenue being paying out to service private banker debts, rents and interest payments from apartments, shopping centres, business premises and homes are streaming out of this country to foreign vulture capitalists. Because Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, the Labour Party and the Green Party signed up to the EU fiscal treaty, this state no longer has any economic sovereignty. It has less power to deal with any new crisis, than it had in 2008. And don't be fooled. There is a recovery, but it's a recovery for the rich. And the fruits of that recovery have gone to the rich, over and above the disabled, the homeless and the sick. And indeed, this government in its last two budgets has given €172 million in tax and universal social charge relief to the top 5% in society on average annual incomes of €186,000 each. And the richest 12 Irish citizens have €50 billion in assets and gained €6 billion of that in the last 12 months. They will not pay a cent in tax on that, and neither will the richest 10%, whose financial assets alone are now €37 billion above peak boom levels in 26, will not pay an additional cent in tax. And indeed, the Society of St Vincent de Paul's pre-budget submission for 2018, launched yesterday, says it all about this country and the policies of this government and previous governments. It's titled Bridging the Gap and an Unequal Nation, and it confirms that the top 1% have increased their share of income by 20%, while the bottom 50% income share has fell by 15%. 91,000 households in need of social housing, 2,700 children homeless, 132,000 children living in consistent poverty, and the poorest 10% of the population pay more of their income in tax than the richest 10%.
Thank you, Deputy. Time is up.
Than the richest 10%. The record will show, Ceann Comhairle, that the establishment parties, including the current Fianna Fáil Independent Alliance, will always put the interests of the very rich first. And indeed, Deputy Varadkar and his government will continue the policy of cruel capitalist extremism, enriching the super-rich at the expense of the general population and the poor. I will be voting against Deputy Varadkar as Taoiseach.